The easiest way to make anything come true is to have two things: reach and reputation. Your reach can make you $1 million just by having an audience and having something to sell. Your reputation can make you billions.
Trust, speed. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. That's the future.
The most powerful asset you can create in your business and in your life is a personal brand. But most entrepreneurs are stuck being the best kept secret in their industry. They're getting results for their clients, but they don't really know how to market and sell themselves in 2025 and beyond. Well, I had the unique opportunity to meet Dan Martell and ask him this one question. How do you build a personal brand that actually sells for you? I'm not talking about getting views. I'm talking about making sales, getting clients. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what Dan revealed, including the mistakes and misconceptions that most entrepreneurs have with personal branding, and how you can build a personal brand in 5 simple steps. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you a gift to help you guys make it happen before 2026. So if you've ever wanted to build a personal brand, this will be the most important video you will watch this year. So grab a pen and paper and let's make it happen.
What's the difference between just having a ton of followers, but having a ton of followers and then having a reputation with them?
Well, I think it's influence versus audience. I think those are two different things. Right. A lot of people can know who you are, and you have zero influence over their decisions on what they do with their lives.
So a common misconception or mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is they believe they need a big audience or big views to make big money. And this is farthest from the truth. And Dan says it beautifully, right? There's a difference between influence and audience. And here's an example, okay? I worked with someone who had a massive audience, 10 million followers, okay? Huge. But she struggled to make money. She was struggling to make money versus my client, Dan, who has less than 2,000 subscribers, and he's making over $1 million a year. So it's not about the audience size or the view count, because I can dance on TikTok and get 1 million views, but that won't result in influence over them to buy something. And so you have to stop creating content around the idea of getting the maximum amount of views or followers, because that is not the day and age we live in. We are in the interest media age, not the social media age. The algorithms, I don't care which one, is all designed to serve the viewers what they're interested in. So if your content is something of interest to your target audience, they will see it. It doesn't matter your follower count. All that matters is the content and how much influence it has over your audience. The next mistake I see entrepreneurs make when it comes to building a personal brand is they believe they need to post every single day, when that isn't the truth, okay? So when my client Dan was posting on short form content, we got next to no results, okay? We were posting shorts every single day, and it wasn't resulting in clients, which was what we wanted. We weren't trying to build an audience, we're trying to get clients. The minute that we shifted our focus from short form to long form, we posted once a week. Sometimes we missed a week. Sometimes we posted twice a month, right? Because he's busy with his business. And yet he still was able to make way more money than posting every single day. There's a time and place to post every day. I am a big believer, if you're new to content creation, you want to learn the skill, it is the fastest path to learn the skill. But if you're an entrepreneur and you want the fastest path to money, posting every single day is not the fastest path to money. It's not going to get you the results that you think about, right? Consistency is key. I'm not saying that. I'm saying posting every day. You don't have to post every day to make a significant amount of money. And here's another example. I had a client, Patrice. We did a podcast together. She sent all of her traffic to this one resource, almost like a VSL. And that one video helped her generate over $30,000 in 30 days. She had one post that generated her the money. So it's not about the number of posts you do, it's about the quality of the post, okay? So there's seasons in this game, and depending on your season, that's when I would recommend different, advice to see, and also based on your goals on what you should do. But you don't have to post every single day to build a personal brand that actually sells for you. So mistake number 3 that a lot of entrepreneurs make, and this is what Dan was talking about when I asked him this question, was that people think they are not interesting enough to have a personal brand, which is totally not the case. And I want you to think about one of my favorite movies, The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, where they basically documented his life. He was in this dome and they created a show around his life. And if you think about it, he didn't do anything like crazy. Like, you know, he had a wife, like he just did ordinary things, and people love watching the show. Right? They love watching someone have an ordinary life because that's super relatable. So we all have things that we can relate to one another. You know, some of us love dogs, some of us love cats, some of us are Christians, some of us are not, right? So we all have things that we can relate to one another. And so what's interesting to you is going to be interesting to them. So it's very important you have to understand that a personal brand isn't to become famous, right? You don't have to become this character. It's just stepping more into your authentic self. The more you can be yourself, the more you can be you, the more people are going to come to you, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. The reason that is because your vibe, who you are, will attract the people who are just like you. What's the alternative? You pretend to be someone else and you attract the wrong type of person. Why would you want clients who you don't like? It doesn't make sense, right? So you are interesting. You can build a personal brand off of your interests, off of your business, off of who you are. Now, mistake number 4 is a big one. This is something that I see all the time. I went through this. I still go through this a lot, is perfectionism. People want to be perfect before starting. This idea that anyone can be perfect, okay? Let's be real, people. You and I know that nothing is perfect. This video isn't perfect. This channel isn't perfect. My business isn't perfect. Your business isn't perfect. Nothing is perfect, okay? Even the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, Alex Hormozi, Dan Martell, all these entrepreneurs don't have a perfect life, don't have a perfect business. It is not achievable. How you step into building a personal brand is action. Action, messy action. You will not get clarity in your head. You'll get clarity through action. You'll get feedback through action. You will get clients through action. You will build a personal brand through action. That is the only way to do it. Personal branding is not thought up in the head. It's done through things that you do. So if you want to build a personal brand, especially one that makes you money, you have to get out of your head. You have to overcome this idea of like, well, it needs to be perfect before I can get started. It is not achievable. Now, the last mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make when they're trying to build a personal brand, and this is something I learned from, obviously from Dan Martell, but also from other entrepreneurs I've talked to, like Alex Hormozi, like Gary Vee, is that you need to be everywhere. So you hear a lot of times you want to be omnipresent, and that is true, okay? That is very true. The more omnipresent you are, better chances you are of being discovered, being known for something. It's not that being everywhere is a mistake, but the problem is, especially where we are right now, it is next to impossible to be everywhere in the beginning. If I was in a race, right, I had 3 glasses and you in 1 glass, who would fill up that glass faster? Obviously you, right? So it's way easier and faster to fill up 1 glass than 3, 4, 5 glasses. So focus on one channel, focus on one avatar, focus on one niche, one problem, one offer, one solution. The quickest path to building a personal brand, to getting known for something, is to focus on one thing. When I tried to do everything for everyone, I was a nobody. But then when I leaned into being a content creator, to being a podcaster, to helping entrepreneurs build massive businesses and personal brands through the power of podcasting and content creation, once I went into my lane, it was way easier for me to get discovered. And so depending on where you are on your journey, it is vital that if you want to be known for something, you have to do that thing really, really well and talk about it over and over and over. And it's just harder when you're trying to be omnipresent. If you're at a place where you have a massive team and you have the capital and the capacity to do it, then do it, right? Because then you have tools in your disposal to do it. But a lot of us are probably not there yet. And so we want to focus on one lane, one thing. Now that we've gone through the 5 common mistakes, I'm going to reveal to you the 5 steps to building a personal brand that Dan Martell revealed during our time together. This has totally changed everything for me and how I think about personal branding. So let's get into that right now. So step number 1 to building a personal brand that actually sells for you so you can get results just like some of the results I shared. Step number 1 is clarity, okay? So many people skip over this step, and I can guarantee you, if you skip this step, you will not build a personal brand. You will not build a personal brand that sells for you. You will not get into the rooms that you want to get into. You'll not present the opportunities that you want because you skip this step. Clarity brings conviction, and conviction and clarity is what a personal brand is built of. Think about all the personal brands you love, right? Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, to Alex Mooney, to Dan Martell. They all have a very clear brand. They understand what is it Nike represents. Just do it. That's a slogan. It's made for people who want to work hard and people who are champions, right? Very clear, very easy to remember. It's very clear. And the conviction, right, is very strong, right? They are not they're not inclusive to everyone. They're saying champions are made through hard work. Like, just do it. It's like, just do it. Just get over it. Like, you can do it. You can do hard things. Right? That slogan is a conviction to what they believe in. So that clarity and conviction is what you need in your personal brand to attract and sell to your ideal audience. Without those 2 things, it is very, very hard to stand out. You can't build trust if no one knows what you stand for. So you have to focus on building a brand that answers, who are you serving? What problems are you solving? Why are you doing it? Clarity equals trust, and trust equals demand. So quick tip is to define what is your one thing. The goal is to be the first thing that pops up in their mind when they think of that one thing. So clarity and conviction can only take you so far. So without this next step, you will not be able to build a personal brand that sells. And that is your content creation flywheel. And Dan says it best. He says, do what you do best and outsource the rest, right? So Dan acts as the talent, right? He is the person that sits in the chair, presents the content, but he doesn't come up with the ideas. He's a team. He doesn't edit the videos, doesn't publish the videos. He lets someone else do that. He lets the system do it for him, and he only works in his zone of genius. And when I started implementing this and I started only doing what I do best, it made everything easier, because chances are you're doing everything. You're coming up with the idea, you're writing the script, you're creating the thumbnails, you're shooting the video, you're editing the video, you're publishing the video. How are you supposed to get everything done? You are not the world-class editor. You are not a world-class thumbnail designer. You're not a world-class writer yet. So do what you do best, right? I love talking. If you haven't noticed, I love being here, talking. And so the best use of my time is to figure out, right, what is it I want to talk about, write out a little bit of points, and then speak to the camera. And once I actually get into my zone of genius is when my authentic self, it comes out. And when I am on point and I'm at my best peak version of myself, versus like me trying to script something or me doing something that I'm maybe not so good at, right? So the point of this is you want to create a content creation flywheel, a system, so that you get into your zone of genius and you only do that and you outsource the rest. So here is how Dan does it. He has a 3-point system. Number 1, he collects ideas, okay? Our mind is not meant to store ideas. Our mind is meant to problem solve, come up with creative solutions. So if you do not write down your ideas, you will forget them. I don't know if you ever felt that way. You had an idea at 3 a.m. or in the shower, like, oh, I'll remember it, and you forgot it, right? So you have to have a collection process of your ideas from books, from podcasts, YouTube videos, from conversations. I like to use my notes app and just have literally ideas for content, a huge tab of ideas. And so that when I'm ready to create content, I don't have to think of an idea. I can pull from those ideas and where I got it. So if it's from a book, I take a photo of the page and from the book. If it's from a podcast, I can link when it was said, right to the notes. Or a YouTube video, I can link right to the notes. If from a conversation, I can write a little bit, hey, talk to Jim about this, whatever it is. So you have to have a process for collecting ideas. And number 2, you want to create a flow state. Here's what I mean. You have to understand how you best work. So if you're a great writer, then that should be your priority. How can you put yourself in a space where you can write the best content? If you're like me, you're better in conversations and creating content in like a very low effort kind of way, then podcasts might be great for you, right? So you have to figure out what is your zone of genius. How do you create in flow, and only create in that area and outsource the rest, right? So AI is a way to outsource it, right? Because AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you if you can't hire someone. But like we all can hire a $4 an hour assistant, well, you know, a VA, a virtual assistant. We all can hire them and they can do a lot of this work for us. That's very manual, tedious. You just have to take the time to actually create like the training for it. And number 3, you want to teach. So at the end of the day is you're collecting ideas, you're creating in your zone of genius, and then you're actually teaching it, right? This is the part where you're on camera, podcast or not, you are teaching the content of what you did. Teaching things will allow me to come up with new ideas, and that's why it's a flywheel, right? The system helps me create things effortlessly. And I don't do all in one day. I don't like collect ideas, then create, then film, right? This video, I've thought about this for a while. When I first asked Dan the question, I also went back to find out what other things he suggested so I can make this video for you, right? So this is coming from him, from in person, but also from things they said online, right? I'm pulling out more resources for you guys, right? So all that makes this a better video and makes this a better experience for you and makes my job 10 times easier. So that is the content creation flywheel. Now, if you skip the first 2 steps, especially the last one, none of it will matter, because if you don't do this 3rd step, then you're not going to be known for anything. And that is to take action. No personal brand was ever made through just your thoughts. You thinking that you are an amazing coach does not make you an amazing coach. Your actions, what you do online, will dictate what people think of you, right? So the only way you could do this is through the things you do. Once you figure out what you want to be known for, then you have to figure out what actions you have to take to be known for that thing. Authority isn't granted, it's earned through action. Only your actions can actually dictate what your personal brand is. So me creating a show called The Content Playbook and teaching you guys about personal branding, about creating content, around content marketing, on videos. This is how people associate me with the word content, because I'm literally doing the actions right now, right? This is the only way you can build your personal brand. So don't skip taking action. Now, you could do the first 3 steps and you can build a very strong personal brand, but you will lose a missing key important step, a key important ingredient, I should say, if you don't do this thing. And Dan Martell says it best in this video.
The most important thing you can learn how to do is to be yourself.
Like I said earlier, your vibe attracts your tribe. And the more you can lean into your authentic self, the more you can be your quirky, funny, serious self, the more you're going to attract those type of people. And I've been there, right? I've been where I try to be professional and then I attract professionals, or I try to be, someone that I'm not. And then I'm attracting the wrong people who I end up don't want to work with. So why would we do that, right? We want to quit being afraid, take action, and actually just be 100% yourself. This is what you need to be, is you. The more you can be, the better and stronger the personal brand will become. People buy from people. Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, his personal brand is way stronger than his company SpaceX or Tesla. The amount of followers who follow Elon versus Tesla are massive. It's because people are not buying Teslas, they're buying Elon Musk. They're buying from the guy, right? This is why CEOs are jumping on podcasts. You saw Mark Zuckerberg jumping on different podcasts because he's building his personal brand. He realized that he needs to build his personal brand if he wants Meta to still be the dominating force. All these entrepreneurs going on different shows is because personal branding is all about being authentically you, being yourself, and going on a podcast, right? It shows your true colors. It's how Donald Trump became president. He had like 60 hours of podcast content versus Kamala, who only had like, I think 6 or 7. I don't know the stats, but it's massive how much being yourself worked, right? It freaking works, guys. I was hiding a lot behind the scenes, and when Dan said that, it really unlocked something inside of me. In step number 5, the most important step if you want to build a personal brand, and this is something that Dan shows in all of his content, and this is to be consistent. You hear it so many times. Every successful entrepreneur say this, but that is why it's so important, is that if you are not consistent at telling people what you want to be known for, you won't be known for it, right? You have to be consistent in your messaging, in how you show up and when you show up and everything, right? If there's any type of secret I could share to being consistent is to make it easy. Because I don't know about you, but being consistent in the gym is so hard. It is so unbelievably hard. What I finally did is I made the decision just to hire a personal trainer, because guess what? That make it easier. I didn't have to think about my workouts. I didn't have to think about, what I ate. I didn't have to think about, when I showed up. It was all already pre-decided. It was easy, right? It just made things easier. And I saw way more progress in the gym. I lost weight, gained muscle, got more energy, more confidence, you name it, right? So the secret to being consistent is just to make it easy. We don't grow into pain. If something's painful, it is impossible for us to grow into it. It takes so much discipline to do things we don't like, right? So you have to make it fun. You have to make it easy. And this is why podcasting is the best and easiest way to create content and to build your personal brand in 25 and beyond. Because what is a podcast? It is a conversation you have with somebody, conversation you have with the camera, and it's the easiest form of content to create because you're not scripting, right? You're not having to actually think of so much of like all the different shots. It's easy. It's easy to be consistent with a podcast because all it is something we do every single day is have a simple conversation. So if you want to be consistent and grow a personal brand, the secret I'm telling you is to either go on shows, right? That's a nice way. If you're just getting started, go on people's shows, right? Get exposure to their audience. Great way to get exposure. But more importantly is have your own show, right? We're here to build a personal brand. So you can go on someone else's show and yes, you can get attention and all that. And that's great. But nothing will build a stronger brand than having a show that is exactly what you want to be known for. Having people come on your show where you talk about the same topic, right? If you want to be known for something, right, you have to stand out. You have to be different. You have to do things that most people don't do. And most people would not start a podcast. Why? Because they don't want what you want. You want a business to make an impact, to give yourself freedom, to do what you are meant to do the thing that you are called to do. And if you follow these 5 steps, I can guarantee you that you'll be in a better place 6, 12 months from now. And you'll look back like, thank goodness I watched this video. Thank goodness I got this advice from Dan, because this was honestly like the biggest unlock for me. These 5 steps, these things made things easier for me to building a personal brand that not only built the business, but my dream life. Like I get to fly across the country, creating content, meeting 6, 7, and 8 figure entrepreneurs, getting to learn for free, asking them questions. Like it is amazing the life I get to live because not only from personal branding, but because podcasting allowed me to do it. And so I want to urge you, if you feel called to build a personal brand and you want to learn how podcasting could be your ticket, right? Click on the link in the description because I have a wait list. I'm going to be launching in the next month or so a program to help you guys launch your own show in 6 weeks, where you can learn everything from the tech, from coming up with your messaging, from being consistent, from standing out online. I've been doing this for 7 years, and I can promise you that this is the best and the biggest opportunity in business right now, bigger than AI, because personal branding will outbeat AI. And AI cannot innovate, cannot like come up with new things. It's just pulling from what's already worked. And so it's missing the human element. And this is what we buy from. We buy from connection. We buy from human to human, not from computer to computer. It's not like that, okay? This will be your ticket to building a strong personal brand. So I invite you to check it out. Click on the link in the description. And if not, no worries, right? come along for the journey. I'm going to be documenting on this show exactly the best types of content to build your brand, to create demand, to actually sell the thing that you're selling, all through the power of content. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. I had a lot of fun creating it for you guys. I hope you found it valuable. If you have any more ideas, you want to learn something, put it in the comments. Love to hear what you guys' thoughts are. But yeah, let's say hello to our buddy Rocco. If you don't know, this is my dog Rocco, and he's going to be a part of the show way more. So say bye, Rocco. Bye. Peace.